Life is crazy every day, I'm less stressed. I'm always out of bed, I guess I'm just insane and possessed. My vested interest is seeing the festering mess displayed on social media that I sift through for the best. Most of reality leaves people feeling depressed, but that's cause life's depressing, getting over that's the test. Maybe that's a lesson you could possibly digest, unless you're blessed and live in life where every day is like a rest. I digress and digest, and yes, I'm a pest. Nevertheless, I must express that I'm here to impress. But that's because I like to entertain, and the insane and depraved are always on the list. You won't see me complain, wasting time crying over reality's a drain. Welcome to the internet, you best prepare your brain, because that's how life's online, 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 how life's online. Reality laughably doesn't bring more clarity to a world of adult children with emotional calamity, panicking frantically over microaggressions, stressing about individuals needing to learn their lessons, like your unconscious biases you can't even perceive. And this feeds into a narrative they want you to believe. It's reminiscent of a cult, but it's not your fault. If you're white, you can't help it, you're racist by default. The best you can do is recognize this is true, even though it really isn't, and there isn't any proof. Just dumb racist goose trying to build a society where white people are trusted to make judgments impartially. And ironically, it's not racist to judge everyone who is white as being born as a racist, you see. That's alright, however, claim all black people are born as criminals, and you'll be called a racist because obviously individuals. But that's how life's online, 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 how life's online.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sasquatch Shills, where Sasquatch speaks and nobody cares. So let me try to stop that from happening, because the timing got all off on that. Welcome to the show, everybody. Let me straighten out a couple of details on the screen and we'll jump right into it. So pop that down. We're going to pop that down. We're going to start the duck race. Hey, all previous guests race now. All right, that's the only time you're going to hear that. Now that's muted. All right, so I have a tiny little bit from Carnal Conservative, previous guest, that I think is just absolutely hilarious. So we're going to take a swing at it and see what he thinks about it.
This comes on the heels of Elon saying he's not going to vote Democrat anymore. He will be voting Republican, and he even added, if they come out with any attacks against him, to please call it Elongate. And we are going to honor that request. Elongate has officially begun. Now,
Elongate has begun. Rally around the God King. I don't know. There's people saying some weird stuff about this man out there, but I just don't think he's actually on our side. I think he just happens to agree with one point. Otherwise, he's one of those eccentric billionaires like Howard Hughes off his pumpkin. Guarantee it. All right, so we got some folks in chat. Let's roll back and see who we got first. The firstest appears to be Truth Be Told, but I swear to God, M Star came in first. So let's we'll start from there then. We'll go with Truth Be Told's got the gold. Princess OPD, Josie Wells, Utah Truck Pulls Meow has the silver, and well, M Star has the bronze or the gold, depending on how you look at it. So we got Mama Gnome, Work Lion. We have Cheese Bear, the Mod God. We have ATL Auditor, previous guest. We have Work Lion, a great guy. We have Truth Be Told Audits, who's already been mentioned. And we'll say the Divine Sorcerer is here. How you doing, brother? I tried to look at some of your videos, and it's my computer doesn't seem to like them. For some reason, the two that I was looking at just kept doing the, buffering thing. I go try them again after I do some restarts and reloads and stuff. But for public safety's in the house, we got Russell Sperry. We got Cammed Up Caveman. Welcome, brother. Daryl Williams is in here. And that pretty much rounds us out. So if I haven't mentioned you, then I guess you're not here. There. So we got a official MissConduct backstage, and she is just rip roaring and ready to go, man. She's been out chasing horses all day. She got them all rounded up. Now she's got them pinned up and ready to ride. So let's see what she has to say about the world. Let's do the thing. You're gonna have to unmute yourself. I can't do it anymore. There you go.
Am I good?
You're good. And your big screen. So what do you do with your channel? What's your channel about?
I see that. You're just sort of throwing me out there and making me speechless is what I'm really good at doing.
Oh, good. It's working perfectly. Fantastic.
All right. So my channel. My channel started after For Public Safety and I decided that we should start publishing what we go through whenever we try to get any type of public records or anything like that to deal with mostly Clark County, but also DCS. And anyone who has watched any of our videos.
DCS is Department of Children's Services there. Here they're
Yes.
called DFACS, which is Department of Family and Children's Services. Same thing.
Yeah, and I've heard DHS also, I think. But anyone that's watched any of the shows on either of our channels know that things tend to not go very well when dealing with either of those entities. So it's usually pretty interesting.
Agreed.
So we wanted to start sharing our adventures with everyone on YouTube.
Well, that was an admirable goal. Have you had any troubles with takedowns or anything like that coming from the county or the state or anything?
What do you mean takedowns?
If an entity decides that what you're doing is being too aggressive or too forthwith or too, inclusive or invasive, they can decide that you're being harassing, that you're harassing them, and they can hit you with a privacy takedown or a harassment takedown or various other methods that YouTube allows. But you haven't seen none of that. That's cool.
No.
That's actually pretty good.
Now, I think For Public Safety has some copyright issues.
Oh, copyright claims are nothing to sweat. They're
Right.
not even a thing. You just can't monetize that video. When you start getting hit with takedowns and DMCA strikes and stuff, that's when it starts getting thick.
Yeah, we haven't gotten any of that yet.
I just got there last week. Hi, how you doing? I'm Caucasian Sasquatch, and I'm not going to be doing videos quite the same way I used to. I'm working on it. I'm working through the process. Well, let's see what we get on the other end. I know people who show movies. They do this thing that I want to do, and I'm going to, I don't know, kidnap one of them, get them to tell me, get them drunk, take them to a bar, hit them with some roofies, give them some truth serum. I don't know. Somebody's going to have to tell me something because they haven't been DMCA'd at all. Like, they have no problems. I don't want to hear it. I just want answers. That's all. And nobody on YouTube will help anyone that just starting out. And there's a reason. There's a very clear reason why. You walking around with your channel, filming what you do and filming the things you film are a walking copyright strike for another channel that shows some of your content and you disagree with them showing it. You can hit them because it's your content, right? Me showing your content tonight is tantamount to a walking copyright strike. All it takes is for the automated system to decide that I'm trying to monetize this somehow, and they hit me with a copyright takedown. It comes down in the middle of your stream, possibly.
Oh, well.
I don't know. I haven't had this many subs or this much attention before, so I don't really know how that's going to play out. But I do know that attempting to play YouTube videos from other YouTubers is verboten. But according to terms of service, it says if you're monetized. So these people could just claim my video.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not monetizing it. Have it. Put some ads on it. That's great. I'll be proud of it. But anyway, it's just that we're working. It's a work in progress. I'll figure it out. It's this big, long, drawn out process where I have to create my own digital product out of a public domain feature where I spend 2 hours filming it, 2 hours altering it, 2 hours uploading it, 2 hours checking it to see if it's going to clear copyright. And no, it's not, because it's not copyright clear in Venezuela. Even if it is public. Yeah, no, it's a cesspool. It really is. They keep dragging you in. So you had some issues with DCS. You had some issues with the local FOIA process.
Yes.
What was the problem with the FOIA process?
Well, they're not giving me any of my public records requests that I've put in through Clark County.
Just refusing entirely, or
They're either not responding or blatantly refusing.
wow. Have you talked to ATL about any of this? He's doing a similar kind of fight over there in Atlanta.
Yes, I haven't spoken to him about this specific subject, but yeah, we have been in contact with ATL. Great guy.
Oh, he's super cool. He just sounds angry. He's not really that mad. He really ain't. He's a sweet guy. He really is. Great dude. So where do you go from here? Beyond just creating a platform to get your message out. What is that message specifically, and how do you plan on expounding upon it in the future?
Well, the thing that we are going for is accountability. We want people that have done things wrong to be held accountable for their actions. So we have been filing grievances through the appropriate avenues and, not making a lot of headway with that. Although with one of the attorneys that I filed a grievance on, I have one of them under investigation, which that's only 1 out of 4, but still that's a start. And then, we are doing the lawsuits, so that could take several years before we even make it to court. So that's going to be a ways down the road.
All right. So what I've got up on the screen right now, I haven't liked this video. I'm a terrible person. It's your trespass video, which I think is your second or third upload.
Yeah.
And this is you being trespassed from where?
Clark County.
Clark County. This was your first attempt to go get a FOIA request, or a third?
Actually, this was us just trying to set up a meeting with the prosecutor.
Wow.
We were directed to go in and talk to him about a previous unlawful trespass that we had received at the Clark County Department of Child Services office. And it was the Jeffersonville Police Department. They had sent an email, said that we needed to go in and talk to Jeremy Mull. Jeremy Mull refuses to see anyone. So we were actually downstairs in the lobby, and FPS was, getting ready to send that email so we could set up that appointment that we know we're never going to get because he doesn't respond to his emails. And this is where we had an officer approach us, and then several other gang members come to force us out of one of the public buildings.
I'm not a fan of people being forced out of public buildings. If you've never needed public assistance, fine. But if you ever have, and you went to one of these places and tried to get some information, you'd do better in Theseus's maze. I mean, these people have made a profession out of passing the buck, passing any level of responsibility upstairs, downstairs, sideways to a different department. It's in a different building. It's a different place over here. You're supposed to be talking to Miss So-and-so over there, but she's not in today, and we're going to have to get back to you. Can I have your name and ID?
Yep, absolutely. Good old circle jerk.
Oh, yeah. And down here in Georgia, we got the Good Old Boys Club, and they are professionals. They're real good at it. That's why generally we just kind of bypass it and call their mama. Like, hey, you need to tell your boy, and then she tells them, and it happens. That's the way that works. If you ever get caught up in the Good Old Boy Network, call the mama.
We don't have the luxury here of actually calling their mothers. I don't know that would even work. Not with a lot of these guys.
But they too hardcore?
I think they're beyond listening to anything their parents had to say, because I don't think that, me as a parent, I wouldn't be proud if my child was doing this. So.
Right? I wouldn't be happy about it. You know what
Yeah.
my pops told me about being a cop?
What?
He said, "Those who can do, those who can't teach. Those who can't teach are cops.
Yeah, makes sense.
You do nothing else, be a cop." All right, well, I can drive a nail. I can read a tape measure. I'll be a carpenter.
There you go.
That's what I did.
At least have a profession that, is rewarding, where you're actually providing something beneficial for other people.
Okay, sure, but you know why I ended up being a carpenter?
Why?
Couldn't figure out what the hell I wanted to do, and I figured, hell, Jesus was a carpenter. It can't be all bad.
There
So
you go.
I showed up at work one day. I was like, "Hey, Back, I need a job. You ever done any of this?" Nope. Let's get started. Awesome. But hey, I had all my tools. That's why I got the job. I walked in with I came off of do it hanging steel. It was like I'm gonna be a
Oh,
carpenter.
wow.
Funny thing about steel, if you beat it straight, it's straight. It generally stays that way. If you beat wood straight, it just bends back out whichever way it wants to. You have to learn how to guide it with the it's there's an art form to it. It's not just science. Steel's
Yeah.
way easier, heavier, but easier. All right, so you haven't gotten your FOIA request. How many have been denied?
At least 7.
And then there's a few that just haven't been answered. I just
Yeah.
not responded to at all. All
Yep.
right. So at some point in time, you're gonna have to start going up there a little more than is socially acceptable, and
Yeah.
just making a general, nuisance of yourself. Um, because that's what gets response. I mean, that's entirely why California is the way it is. Because nuisances get a response, and they're all nuisances. So all of them get responses, and then you end up with like the Democratic supermajority. People
Oh,
saying that they don't know what a woman is. Okay. I mean, I don't have to know what to do with them, so, it's fine.
no, that
Just
makes sense. Yeah, I think that we should definitely, visit Clark County as much as we need to,
Yep,
more often than we have been, obviously. That way we can get some things handled and services provided that have been denied.
for sure. Now, that's gonna become, um, more likely as time goes along, because the more you go up there and you form a paper trail, and that paper trail becomes less and less deniable over time, that's really their biggest fear is dedication. If they can pawn you off once and you go away, then fine. Twice and you go away, well, that's a little nerve wracking. 3 times and you go away, they start getting nervous. But when you show up and you file a complaint, and then you file a FOIA request, and you file a 1072, and then you file they're going to have to take notice of you. They're going to have to respond in some way.
Well, the paper
Hopefully
trail
it's not negative.
we have is absolutely insane, because we've been, dealing with Clark County since 2020. So that's been a long time. We just recently started, publicizing our
Oh,
efforts.
no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Since 2020, that's no time at all. Hell, it was closed for half of that.
True, very
So,
true.
so
It
they'll
seems
just
like
look at
forever
you.
for me, though.
They'll just look at you and throw a shrug in the air and be like, "Oh well." That's all you're gonna get out of them. But now that things are actually moving again, just stay on top of the ball on that and make that happen.
Definitely.
It'll be your dedication and your follow through that makes that happen, because they're not gonna do it.
No.
I mean, they have no interest in it. Doesn't serve them in any way. I've got a bit of an issue with CP Child Protective Service, CSP, what is it there? DCS. Yeah, DCS.
CPS, yes.
Yeah,
It
okay,
was
DCS.
CPS,
I
and it
have a bit of an
became
issue with them. They are the one organization in the state that has the ability to circumvent the GBI and the state police and the county police, and just bend them to their will. There's no backup investigation. There's no double check on what these social workers are doing and saying. And it's completely inappropriate. These people aren't sworn deputies. They are not court English, motherfucker. Do you speak it? Court clerks. They are just random ex-teachers and people that can't be teachers for some reason that have decided to be social workers. Most of the time, they don't even have an actual degree in psychiatry, words hard sometimes, but psychology, which isn't the same thing at all. These are
Right.
two totally different disciplines, really.
From my understanding, the only thing that you have to have is a bachelor's degree of some sort. It doesn't even have to be, anything specifically that deals
You get a
with
bachelor's in Inuit basket weaving.
that. They would probably take that if you could get a bachelor's in that. They are short staffed. They're always talking about, having excessive caseloads. So I'm sure they would take a basket weaver. That way they could teach them how to do things wrong and corruptly.
That's brilliant. All right. So you've got about 6 or 10 videos on your channel. They're mostly derived from this interaction on the screen and 1 or 2 others. This one is absurd. They straight up bulldoze y'all out the door like y'all were some ragamuffins or something. See, that's the thing. Here's the problem I have with it. Even if y'all were homeless bums, right? They would have just as much of a right to be there as you do, as anyone
Absolutely.
else. So there's no excuse for that type of activity, just to bulldoze people out the door. That's crazy. Do you have any explanation for any of that at all?
Just not wanting to be accountable, and the extent of the corruption in that county is terrible.
Is it a nepotism situation? Are they all related?
Well, I mean, I have seen quite a few of the officers with the same last name.
That's
Like,
always a good trick.
well, the officer that first came down and told us that we were trespassed, his wife was actually the one that met us upstairs. So,
Oh, no, that's what I was talking about right there.
yeah,
That's the nepotism that hurts. Here's the thing. You go into a courthouse and you find uh, Mr. Jones standing there, and he's in a deputy's uniform, and Mrs. Jones is the court clerk. You've got a problem because there's nothing you can do against Mr. Jones or Mrs. Jones because they both had the power of a judge right behind them.
FPS ducked his head in here and he was talking to me.
That's
Were
fine.
you wanting me to explain what had happened with the prosecutor, like before we
If
were?
you wish, I'm not trying to dig too deep into your personal life. If it's, I mean, I'm not even going to have it unmuted on the channel. If they want to see your video, they can go watch it on your channel, get you more views. What I'm
Yeah,
here to do is present the creator of your channel, you, basically. Uh,
yeah. We already have the majority of the stuff out there. For public safety has a lot more videos out than I do.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like, well, one, he's a lot better at creating them quickly. And, he's not waiting on those public records requests that are not coming like I am. But so Jeremy Mole, back in 2020, we had a SWAT raid that was conducted at our home. And it was on the pretense that they were coming here for, stolen property. But this property was left to FPS by his uncle in a will. So they had absolutely no reason to be here. And in the warrant, there was absolutely no mention of drugs, anything like that.
right.
So the prosecutor that signed off on that warrant was Jeremy Mole. And, we spent at least a year and a half trying to get in contact with him about that situation with no luck. He does not respond to his emails as his secretary would lead you to believe. But, no response with that. And then we had where we went over to Clark County DCS because I needed to get paperwork, and FPS wanted to redress a grievance that we had entered. And the Region 18 director, Brad Fortner, he called, his secretary called law enforcement, and law enforcement suggested to them that, he have us trespassed. So we were unlawfully trespassed that day, and that is what we were going to physically try to set up a meeting with Jeremy Mole about, because, trying to set up an appointment with him through his email, it doesn't work. And being there in person with cameras, it still
Okay.
doesn't
Let me
work.
ask you this. What year was that?
It was in 2020.
Okay. Of approximately what month?
September 30th.
Okay. Gotcha. The things are getting thick. Gotcha. Right. Okay. So nobody wanted to talk to anybody at that point in time. Everybody was terrified of everyone else. Um no, it still doesn't hold water. They're in the wrong.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Remember how I told you about 10 minutes into the show my computer was going to start freaking out?
Yes.
It's doing that thing.
Oh, okay.
Like it's like twitching on me. Like it's not getting too hot. I've already put a cooler under it and everything. It's good.
Well, it held out longer than what you had originally predicted.
Yeah, I
So,
know. We got what 10, 15 minutes further along than I expected. So
yeah,
maybe
that's
the cooler
progress.
is working. Hey Michelle, welcome to the show. I'm Star. MVTV Vigilante TV. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a mouthful right there. I've been practicing. Oh yeah. All
I'm
right.
gonna.
So I've got this little thing I do with my guests, and I call it being a YouTube paleontologist. Basically, what I do is I go and dig up the oldest video that somebody has, and we just watch it. And it's in your case, I think it's your intro, but I have to find the freaking button to push. We're gonna push the button now. And I'm above it. That's not right. I'm not supposed to be above it. It's supposed to be up there. There we go. Now it should cover everything. Yay. Oh my God, the sound doesn't work on it. You good? I'm all right. I'm good. Yep. Welcome to Sasquatch Shills, where nothing works and everything's broken. All right. So we're just gonna watch the fucking video then. Oh my monkeys. Oh, this is good. Following you all. What we're doing is making an appointment with Jeremy Moore. Can everybody identify for this speaking? If we could get everybody's identification here. We'll start with you, sir. Sir, what is your identification? Miss Evans, and that guys, all we're trying to do here is make an appointment with Jeremy Moore. It's within our constitutional right. I don't see the problem there. I mean, if you're going to make an appointment, if you're there to make an appointment, you're there to make an appointment. Well, let's write your name down, move on to the next person. What the fuck?
Just can't do it though. They can't.
Why? What? I don't know. Is it the camera? Are they just terrified of the camera? Comb your hair in the morning. You'll be all right. It don't hurt.
With these officers, the way they are behaving, I do not think that anyone, or if they have, it's been limited, has put a camera on them and, wanted them to
Oh,
do
that's
things.
trash. That's other trash. You know good and well there are 5 or 6 cameras in that building right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Legally, you can FOIA any one of them that you want to, but they won't give it to you apparently.
Well, if I could get anybody to answer, I mean, I do need.
Right. I'm saying legally. I mean, what they're doing is illegal apparently. So
Yeah, I'm going to have to just, make a huge sign and stand out front of the courthouse and be like, hey, pay attention to me. I need some requests
you
done.
might get somewhere with that. I don't know. I've got to go back into my OBS and rebuild all of that. Apparently, none of my sound is working. If that's not working, then I don't have my outro either. I I did
I
that this morning.
technical stuff, so
Oh man. One day I'll have a show actually work. They tell me, everybody in chat tells me if it doesn't have technical issues, it's not a Sasquatch Shills. Hey Terry Charms, welcome to the show. Good to see you. For public safety, good to see you too. Thought I saw John Eagle for a minute. They're shock proof. There he is.
I have something crazy I'd like to share with you.
Okay.
I was talking to my daughter the other day, and apparently she has been allowed to watch the shows on my YouTube channel. And she was asking me why I was harassing the police. And she said that what I was doing wasn't right, that I should not go around harassing innocent police officers. I was like, it's time for us to start getting educated,
I
child.
think maybe that education is a little late.
Yeah, it is.
It's been done by someone else.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, it has been, because thanks to DCS's unlawful involvement.
All right. So this has an analogy to ATL's situation where he's trying to deal with an entire Gestapo police force, a secret police inside the school system that don't answer to anyone except for the Department of Education, apparently, and nobody in the Department of Education answers to the citizenry. So who are these cops and why are they with our children? Typically, they're cops that aren't sufficient for being on a beat or an actual detective or being an actual deputy. Instead, they're stuck into a school as a school resource officer because they're not quite fit for duty and often in certain circumstances. Have you ever noticed that school resource officers are always a little off? They don't ever quite match what you think of when you think about a local cop. You look at the school resource officer, they're always 65 years old, or they're 225 pounds, or they're 6'9" and wearing a shirt 2 sizes too small. They don't fit the cookie cutter image that the police want. So they stick them in the school system. So no adults really see them.
That's absolutely terrible, though, because the
Is it?
research that I've been doing, like the officers are, well, I'll have to
Great.
go out on that soon. But to make people that don't qualify for law enforcement be in charge, looking over our children,
Ah,
kids, I mean, that's scary.
it's beyond scary. And here's the scary part. Here's the really scary part. It's not just the cops. They're not the only ones that are a little bit off. Go wander through a school and talk to the teachers. These people live inside an echo chamber, inside their own little world where they're married to cops and they're married to administrators and they're married to other people in the county administration or in the school district or other teachers. And they never, ever actually hear what's going on in the real world. They come out, get drinks and tater chips and go back to their little bubble. That's it. And that's the problem. It's that there's no interaction in and out of that bubble. We vote, they either say yes or no, and they move on like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. Slowly, they're realizing that's not how it works. They'll get voted out in every county and state where a local legislation has the capability of pulling it off. It'll happen.
Right.
Now that the veil has been pulled back, they see the man behind the curtain, and he has green hair and wears a dress. That's the issue. I'm not saying I disagree with it. They can do whatever they like to. They do not have permission to do it in front of my children.
Right.
That is where I draw the line. That's the hill I'm willing to die on. Congratulations, you found it. For a prize, you don't want the prize. All right, so where do we go from here? Yeah, I got one more video over here. It's one that struck my fancy. Nothing in particular. I don't even know why it struck my fancy, but it did. Oh, that's not this. It's this one. Yeah, that's the one. Oh yeah, I remember now. I love this. Great. Let me unmute it. Who are you?
Who are you?
Guess what? Indiana State Police Department in Sellersburg, you fucking failed.
Oh, and you got a BAM on your channel too, don't you?
Yes.
You got a BAM. Where's it at? I saw it. It's right here. Here it is. I can't show it to you because it's going to be like that.
To walk in there, I have something that I would like to express to you. I would like to say this,
Bam.
It's a bam.
and
And
be
it's just
better, do better.
I fucking love it. Great.
Before you
That is
walk in
greatness
there, I have
itself. Oh, wrong button. All right.
Yeah, that was Officer Crumpton that came and first told us that we were being unlawfully trespassed. So I definitely enjoyed sharing that BAM with him.
Fantastic. Did you get spotted on NC Tire Hunter?
I did, actually.
Awesome. I thought I seen you on there. I was pretty sure. Pretty sure. Yeah, he's a good kid. He's a great kid. I really like NC Tire Hunter.
Yeah.
He's a really, really like down to earth kind of guy. He don't always say what he means, but it's because those words weren't in his school system. They just didn't have a complete dictionary or something. I don't know. I love the way he talks. And fantastic. What you doing out here, boy? Baking cookies. Want some?
Yeah, I've seen some of the stuff that he says, and
Can I
it's
help you? Yes, sir. I'd like a big bag of fries and a milkshake. I got a couple of bucks in the truck if you need it. I love it, dude. I'm making biscuits. He's great. He is endlessly great. He's full of 'em. Another one I like a whole bunch is Joe Cool. And what I like about him is how quickly he goes from 0 to 10,000 miles above light speed. He's like, "Hey, officer, how you doing? What's going on? Ain't it a lovely night? Sir, I need you to step back." "Fuck you, motherfucker. I don't need to." Good God. I mean, we were just sitting here talking. Everything was cool. I was going to ask you to step over here. Guess
we
not,
were fine. What happened?
right? Yeah, you were a nice guy a second ago. Suddenly you're like, wow. I love it. It's great stuff. It really is. I mean, it's not it's not great people have to be on the receiving end of it, but it's great there's a Joe Cool out there dishing it out when it comes up. I love that.
Yes. So what's the fish about?
The fish? What fish? Oh, that's for after the show. We've gone through your videos. Um and we're gonna sit here and chit chat for another couple of minutes. And I've got two. I gave a poll when I entered on what the After Dark would be about, and it was either going to be hominoids or invasive species. And invasive species is currently winning, and so I've got the invasive species video loaded up over here, visible. It's just a pretty
Okay.
picture in the background.
That sounds like an interesting show.
It's actually it's more along the lines of trying to help other people out who are starting channels and haven't quite figured out what the mechanisms are. So folks come in with OBS problems, they come in with StreamYard problems, they come in with email problems sometimes, and we just sit down and talk it out till they figure out either what they did wrong or reset up or rebuild it or whatever. Um, I usually spend an hour in After Dark. I bring up any number of people that are interested in coming up. We talk about whatever the issue is, whether it's something they've noticed in YouTube that helped a video or something they think hurts videos or something they think the algorithm don't like, whatever. We're just trying to build a community that helps each other out a little bit instead of like the freaking dog eat dog bullshit that's going on in every other channel. You ever notice? Once you get about 5,000 subs, nobody wants to help anybody anymore. There's a reason for that.
Yeah,
There's
I'm nowhere near that. So
It's rare. I mean, occasionally you come across a channel that's achieved that much notoriety or success, and they don't feel like there's this belief there is a limited amount of view time in the world. But with 7 billion accounts, I just don't see it that way. I just don't see it that way. If you pitch your channel right, you can have 2 million Bangladeshis in here screaming over you. It'll be great. Hey, Snarky Sass, welcome to the show. Good to see you, darling. Was she came and did her show? She had some kind of weird noise cancellation happening on her phone. It sounded like the aliens were coming to get her the whole time. It was great.
nice.
It was great. I love it. All right.
Yeah,
So, do you cop watch very much nowadays? Like chase the blue lights when you see them?
we actually stopped and did one. That's something that I've really been thinking about doing more of because with my new work schedule, I'm not really going to have a lot of time to be in the courthouse. You
Right.
know, they obviously close at 4, and I don't really even know why they're open, but they still close at 4. So I've thought about doing some cop watching on the weekend and stuff, and just seeing how that plays out.
See, ATO knows what I'm talking about. My man has a bunch of Arabs watching his stuff. Right.
Nice.
It doesn't matter what you do. Rule 34. No matter what it is you do, not only has somebody out there done it before, but they've also filmed it, put it on YouTube, and there's an OnlyFans about it. So whatever it is you do, just go do it and be passionate about it, and it will work out gravy for you on YouTube. It'll be great.
Really.
Now, monetization is a whole nother conversation because it comes with its own problems. I mean, suddenly you have to stick to those terms of service like glue, or you have
Yeah.
no choice. No choice.
I
No.
haven't even looked into that part. I think I only have like maybe 59 hours of watch time.
Right.
So
I fell
my
backwards.
videos are short. But I tell people, I'm like, can you just play that in the background while you're sleeping?
That's something I've never actually asked anyone to do. I think my jokes are so horrible that after they hear a few of them, they'll just turn it off and forget about me. That doesn't really happen. They seem to almost like them. I don't know why. They're horrible jokes. They're bad. They're all bad.
No, they're funny.
That's how you know they're bad. I'm going to hell.
Well, I don't know about that, but
I'll save you a seat. I don't know. I'll be the guy bootlegging ice water in the corner. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. We got about 10 minutes left. And do you have anything in particular you want to push or any other channels that you like that you promote specifically?
well, you've already mentioned ATL, and I've mentioned for public safety, and I'm trying to think. This is that point where I'm back in the lights and I'm froze.
It happens. So tell me this: when you wake up in the morning and you check your YouTube, what channels do you check first, other than your own, of course?
Well, honestly, I don't even really have time to check YouTube. As soon as I get up, my feet hit the floor and I'm going. And, whether it just be life or trying to get more records requests or trying to do research on how to do a tort claim the right way, I don't really have time to do anything. I need about 3 more of me. That would be great.
I don't, I don't know about all that. World don't know what to do with one of me.
Well,
I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to be
well,
an asshole.
of course, like I was telling you earlier, we had a horse nearly escape today because she found out that the electric fence wasn't on. So that took about 3 hours.
Good Lord. Animals.
Yes, super smart animals at that. She's into everything. She's a huge horse. I don't know if you know how big 17 hands is, but she's a big girl.
Oh, cool. The truth be honest, figured out how to set a link. He's modding for me. I'm so proud of him.
Oh,
I
nice.
want to hug him. I'm so proud of him.
But
Yeah, she is pretty quick. She's good at it. They're having a conversation over here. I'm sorry.
oh no, you're good. I've tried to mod, and I think I'm okay at it. Definitely needs some work.
Well, modding ain't for everybody. When somebody comes on the show, I make them a mod for the show and for the premiere, and then I unmod them after the fact because you never know who people are in the long term. You never know. But for the most part, most of the people I've modded are either still modded or were unmodded because I had to mod somebody else that was coming in.
Oh,
But
can you only
if
have a certain number of mods?
I think it's 30. I think it depends on how many subs you have. I think you can have like 10
Okay.
if you're under 20 and like 20 if you're under 50 or something like that. After that, it gets a little absurd.
That's pretty cool.
There's some kind of limit. I don't remember what it is, but when I click somebody that's coming on the show and they're like, it won't let me mod them, I go unmod for a handful of people. Sorry, y'all. It's nothing personal. It's just the first 10 people I come
Nothing
across.
personal, nothing personal. I do want to recap though. Well, not recap.
Go
I
ahead.
didn't say anything that I should recap on, but I am working on a video that I'm getting ready to put out as soon as I can, and it's got a lot of good information in there. So it's kind of interesting, really. And, you know, we may have touched on it a little bit tonight while you were talking.
Perhaps. Go ahead.
Hopefully, I'll have that out in the next day or two. I'm going to have to get for public safety to help me a little bit. He's a lot better with the programs that we use than I am. I am slow as molasses.
Yeah, I have some issues with the whole editing thing. Every
Yeah.
now and then when I'm doing my whole editing, oh yeah, somebody asked me to find this original sound. I will bust that thing up when we go to do the play out. Because I was sitting there thinking I can have the sound, I just can't do I could actually put my little thing up too when we do it. Anyway,
Are you there? Did I freeze or did you freeze? Can you hear me? Can't hear anything.